Hi everyone, welcome back. And issue 58 Warhammer Imperium. It's another Canopic Wraith. Right, here we go. We'll have a look at the plastic in a mo. So we get another battle mat, and this makes 4 of this coloured that we now have. Also, we've got a slightly different coloured one. So let me guess. Yeah, that is visibly different to these. So yeah, that is. I mean, I don't know if it's going to marry up at all anywhere. I don't think it is. No, it's not. So we've got a different battlefield. Now I don't know if we're just going to get one of these or if we're going to get another battle mat towards the end of the next set of 20 issues. So maybe somewhere around about issue 78 we might get another one, maybe that it will have this war zone on it, so that you can at least get a double. But this now allows us to do a 4-piece battle zone using this. I'm fairly certain this is going to allow us to do either one long strip where you can place all 4 battle mats together in one long line, and a quarters. So 1, 2, 3, 4 quarters. But that's brilliant. Nice to see that. Right, let's have a look. Issue 58, we get our Wraith. Oh. 41st Millennium, Black Templars, build and paint the Wraith, and an exciting narrative mission. Right, Space Marines, Heroic Origins. Marnius Calgar, leader of the Smurf Marines at the moment. Ultramarines recruit from their stellar empire, Ultramar. So Heroic Origins, you've got a D3 chart here that you can roll on. And you've got, so for each of the characters here within the thing, it looks like you can do a Heroic Origins, rolling a D3 for each of those if you so wish. Black Templars, the Holy Crusading chapter, basically. These guys chain their weapons to them. So High Marshal Helbrecht is the current leader. We've also got Chaplain Grimaldis, and they also have within their ranks the Emperor's Champion. We've got some information on Morven Val, who is the Abbess Sanctorum, the high leader of all the Adeptus Sororitas factions within the 40k universe. And then a little bit about her blessed war suit. How to build our Canopic Wraith. Now, so I don't know if you recall, but the last issue that I had, the instructions that came with the Wraith did not match that Wraith, but this one, these instructions do match. The only thing that was different on the last set of instructions was the tail was different to what was being shown in the build instructions. But here you go, it's fairly simple. It's a great little mini actually. I really like it, and again, because we've already built it, we'll have a look and see if we can just do a quick and easy paint scheme for it. So yeah, how to paint your Canopic Wraith. this is quite in depth, and then we're looking at using non-oil for different pieces, and it says Canopic Scarabs update, so we're looking at doing a bit of highlighting for these with the Stormhost Silver, Astro Granite, and so on and so forth. Final gallery. Right, conflict in the crypts. Initiate 19. Basilica of St. Martius is a formidable structure, but no fortress is impenetrable. The Necron Overlord's forces have discovered a route into the Undercroft, a network of storage chambers and crypts located beneath the Basilica. Amidst the remains of long-dead Electian citizens, Imperial forces do battle with Necron interlopers. The foe must be driven back before they can breach the upper levels and lay waste to the moon's holy relics. It's got a nice picture, picked capture of some flayed ones there. Necron's Overlord, two-pronged assault. The Necron attackers have split their forces into two distinct strike forces, dispatching the Destroyer cults to follow the Flayed One's trail of slaughter and disrupt the Imperial defenders, whilst the Overlord leads his legions in an attempt to break through the upper levels. This two-pronged attack on the Basilica's Undercroft will surely stretch the Imperial defenders. The Overlord hopes that this attack will provide the breakthrough he seeks and bring the battle for Electia to a timely conclusion. Imperial commanders selected several combined arms forces to enter the Undercroft and purge the Necron threat. The Ultramarines, led by their captain, seek to utilise their assault intercessors and aggressors to smash the Necron advance. Meanwhile, the Canoness drives her Adeptus Sororitas forces forwards, meeting the Necrons head-on and relying on the faith and hatred of her sisters to overcome the Xenos invaders. The fate of Electria's relics lies in the hands of these two experienced commanders. So here we have the army lists for each Imperium, and then here we have our battlefield. So we're using two of the pale grey battlefield sleigh. Right, here we go. The battle for the Basilica of St. Martius has entered its final stages. Necron forces search through the crypts and storage facilities beneath the structure, seeking a route to the upper levels. Imperial forces scramble to halt their advance. Forces in play. So we choose between the two army lists that we're given. Create battlefield. Battle mats as shown in the image below, and place 4 action markers in the position okay, so no, I think this is another print error because it's saying 4 action markers, but I can only see 1 marker represented here in the centre of the battlefield. It's the deployment zones. You've got to split half your force, as close as half of your force, into each of your deployment zones. You're deploying in corners and you're doing opposites. So there you go. And yeah, so looking at the issues that we've just received will allow you to make a 2x2. And yeah, so there you go. And this looks like so looking at this bit here, it looks like we are going to get our final Hemotrope reactor, our Death Marks, our Leash Guard, our Catacomb Command Barge, and our Locust Heavy Destroyer, I think that is. And we will then get Bobby G, the Invader ATV, the Firestrike Servo Turret, and then we've got Marnius Calgar and his Victrix Guard, the final hemotrope reactor. Did I mention that? Then we've got some Phobos armoured Space Marines, some Eliminators, I think they are, and some... I forget what they were called. Oh no, those are Infiltrators and those are Eliminators. Get it right. So there you go. Those are basically our remaining forces that we haven't received yet. So that's what we're getting next. And I believe that the new war zone is going to be Kajalma's Skull, which was the war zone that was mentioned in, well, that basically was the synopsis part of the thread in the two novellas that we received back in a few issues ago. So there you go. So yeah, we're getting into the end game now, and we're going to get our Outriders in parts 1 and 2. When I build these, I will be making them for my Raven Wing. So I will grab myself another Raven Wing upgrade sprue, and we will make them all things Dark Angels. So come down, let's put this to the side. Here's our Canopic Wraith. I can't remember what I said, what year this was for the sculpt in the previous video. But you get a 50mm base. And yeah, it's very insect-like. It's actually a nice model. It builds up quite nicely, and I quite like it. I have actually managed to magnetize the weapons this time around. I think I showed you how I did that in the last video. So in this next video, we'll just do a very battle-ready, quick and easy battle-ready paint scheme. But yeah, this is what bad boy looks like, and I went for the claws rather than the whips, because you can have whips rather than the claws that are on him. So there you go, that's the plastic. It's actually quite a nice build. There are a few things that you need to make sure that you get right. So just for example, make sure that you place all your limbs and these sort of like energy things, whatever they are, all in the right sequence. But yeah, that's probably about the only difficult thing to remember. But that is what you have. Okay, join me in a little bit and we'll get painting. All right, take care. See you in a sec. Hi everyone. Okay, so we are going to paint our Wraith. Now, the Wraith has been built. I haven't glued on the weapon system yet, but I have magnetized it. Okay. And the first colour I'm coming in with is going to be lead Belcher to put a base coat down for things I want to be brass, but also to obviously do those other metallic areas that I just want to be metal. Now I'm going to use an oldish brush just for this because it's going to be a bit shitty, as it were. Right, so the first thing that I want to be metallic is going to be, I'm not going to paint the tail, but I'm going to paint the blade on the tail. I'm then painting all the segments here. So this segment, this, obviously this side, this and this underneath. Those are going to be the only metallic segments, and obviously the arms and the legs. They're going to be, but these are the only metallic segments underneath. I'm not going to paint the center power sphere here or the spine. So it's literally these segments here. Obviously the legs and the claws. So all the legs, all the armatures that hold these power balls and the legs onto the body. And then I'm just going to paint the carapace. So all I'm going to do is literally paint the carapace that you see on top, but I'm not going to paint inside these circular areas where there's power nodes, the spine on both ends, or the neck and head. So all those areas are going to get lead Belcher. This top carapace is just going to get one coat because, as I say, it's going to have Runelord brass. And the reason it's only going to get one coat is because I just want to put a quick layer down so that when I put the Runelord brass down, it's going to be a little bit brighter. So that's all I'm doing with that. And then, as I say, the legs and the claws, etc. So I'll get that done and we'll come back. I'm now going to come in, now that I've done my lead Belcher all over, I'm now going to come in and do brass on the carapace. But I'm also going to put brass on the legs, and the reason for that is that I was just checking over the spider that I did, and obviously to try and keep the theme going throughout the army, I intend to homogenise all the stuff in that way that I can, if they're not specifically like a majorly different unit. So all these appendages, apart from the front one's going to remain lead Belcher, but all of the legs are going to get a coat of Runelord brass, and then the carapace, as you see it now, all of this carapace that's covered in lead Belcher is going to get Runelord brass on that. So come back and we'll have this done. Okay, right, here we go. Known oil for all the lead Belcher areas. Now I may, depending on how this goes, come in and do 2 coats on the claws. I may even do 3 because I want them quite dark. But yeah, the claws themselves, like I say, I want quite dark. But probably just the single coat on the rest of the non-oiled, not non-oiled, lead Belcher parts. So I'll crack on with that and we'll come back in a sec. XxxX Earth Shade now over the brass. This may need 2 coats, but we'll wait and see. I'm not too fussed about how messy this is. But I will try and make sure I get shade in these recesses So that would definitely take a little bit longer to dry than the other bits. And obviously don't forget to do the rear sets of legs that you've painted brass. So come back and hopefully all the washes will be put down. Now we're going to come into something which is going to take a fair bit of time, and that is going round and putting a base coat on ready for the glow effects. There's an awful lot of stuff on the Wraith. If you choose to do it, that needs a base. So you've got all these little power nodes here. So there's one there, one there, one there along the spine. You've got all these power balls here just on the ends of these little armatures. You have this at the end of the spine, and then on this particular face I've got 4 baleful eyes. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We then have the power stave, power ball underneath, this power thing underneath here, and then all the way down the spine on each side we've got quite a number of these little power balls, and you've got the same on this side as well. So all of these need, especially if you're gonna coat them with green to make them look glowy, they're all going to need doing. Now, some people may even go as far as to do all these little extra ones that, like, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 there, there's 1, 2 there, and then there's 1 there. Some people go as far as to do all of those. I'm not fussed about those, but I want to get all of these done. So come back and we'll have hopefully done all the, probably 2 coats to get a good base down before I go on to put in Elysian green in, or moot green I think, to bring out the green. Right, forgot to mention that all the embossed lines in the carapace, we're going to get a white coat as well. So I'm now going to come in and start basically everything that's white is now going to start getting a coat of moot green. So everything, and this will be obviously the base colour for the Necron power that these vehicles are run on. So yeah, so everything that's got a white on it is going to get a quick blast with the green. So come back and that will be done. Okay, so this is as far as I'm going to take it for a basic paint job. This will get you onto the battlefield. So all I've done, as we've looked at, it was I sprayed it black, then gave it a thin down Abaddon black paint over the top. Lead Belcher paint for all the metallic parts, including the brass bits, so that I laid down a base coat for the brass, as it would come up a little bit brighter than straight onto black. Then I came in with the washes, so Nuln Oil for the bits lead Belcher, and then Agrax Earthshade for the brass. All the pipe work I've just painted black for now, so all the hanging pipes, etc. The weapon mounts are just black at the moment, with the arms supporting the weapon have been done in lead Belcher, and then obviously it's been given a wash. And what's going to happen after that is I've laid down some white, or in this case actually Autumn Grey. It's just an off-white paint really. It's a very, very pale, very, very, very pale grey. And then on top of that I've put in the moot green. So that's what I've done, and that will get these troops onto the battlefield for you. Okay, so join me in the next video. The next one of these, we're still to get one of these wraiths, so in that video we'll go over detail painting, highlights and bits and pieces like that. Okay, speak to you soon. Take care. Bye.